Time to talk about your health. Living a Primal Lifestyle. With your hosts, Nico and Ellen Haan. Now, Nico and Ellen Haan.
Good morning, I'm Nico Haan, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. Good morning, I'm Ellen Haan.
It's a beautiful day in downtown St. Petersburg, 63 degrees, a little cloudy, might clear up this afternoon, we're not sure, but it's pretty nice out here.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I'd like to remind you folks of a couple of things. To start off your day is a good thing to take the Primal Edge. It has over 310 organic, cell-ready ingredients, all powered by fulvic and humic acid. This lets the good stuff in.
And it tells the bad stuff to get out.
That's right, it does. And, of course, our Health Signals newsletter. This follows the show. So the last 2 weeks, what we were talking about is in here so you can do your own research. And the number here is 877-927-6648. I'd like to start off, and yes, you were going to say something?
Email address.
Email address, yeah, Nico or Ellen at TFNN.com. Yep. I'd like to start off with this subject here, plummeting sperm counts, shrinking penises. Oh no. Toxic chemicals threaten humanity. This is by Erin Brockovich of TV fame.
Well, she's been an environmentalist for a very long time.
Yes, she has. And she's talking about a book called Countdown by Shauna Swan, an environmental and reproduction epidemiologist at... Epidemiologist, thank you, dear. At the Mount Sinai in New York. And she finds that sperm counts have dropped nearly almost 60% since 1973. And they said that...
around the world.
Yeah, this is around the world, and also the trajectory we are on. In other words, if we start this trend, it says sperm counts could reach zero by 2045.
You know, I know that for the past probably 15 years, there's been a lot of conversation about young women who weren't able to conceive.
Right.
And,
well, we know couples who've gone through training and all kinds of things.
Yeah, the in vitro stuff, and it's expensive, it's heartbreaking, it's stressful.
And then if you decide to go adopting, that's expensive too, and that takes a long time, and you have to wait. And
but it's interesting to finally see something that is kind of connecting this to the PFAs, and so I looked up the PFAs to find, because lots of alphabet soup in these.
Well, these are chemicals to blame. The chemicals to blame for this crisis are found in everything from plastic containers, food wrappings, waterproof clothing, fragrances and cleaning products, soaps, shampoos, electronics, and carpeting. And also, I would say probably some food, because of the food packaging itself.
Yeah, I would say the packaging is where it's coming in. It actually stands for polyfluoroalkyl substances, they call them, and they're man-made chemicals, and they've been manufactured, used in a lot of industries around the globe, including the U.S., since the 1940s. Mm-hmm. And what's happened is that they have basically polluted the water at this point.
Yeah, polluted pretty much everything. Mm-hmm. In some parts of the world, the average 20-something woman is less fertile than her grandmother was at age 35. In addition, Swan says that on the average, a man today will have half the sperm count his grandfather had. So the current state of reproduction affairs can't continue much longer without threatening the whole survival of the human race, they say here.
Wow. You know, when we watch those science fiction movies about babies not being born, this wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, they really attack the sperm production. The structures of testosterone are very, very similar to these PFASs. They're called. So these fluoride-type chemicals that are in there mimic a lot of our hormones, and testosterone is another one. Remember, we always said soy kind of mimics the estrogen. Yeah. This is kind of the opposite, where it attacks the male, but it also attacks the female, too.
Yeah, and it says the chemicals are confusing our bodies.
Yeah.
So in the United States, a scientific study found that phthalate exposure was widespread in infants.
Right.
And you wonder, how in the heck does a baby get exposed to this
Well,
stuff?
think of the soaps that we
Yeah,
use and the shampoos, the formulas might have something in it too.
Yeah.
It also says here in the United States today you can't eat deer meat caught in Oscoda, Michigan. The health department has issued a do not eat advisory for deer caught near the former Air Force base.
Yeah, so there's a lot of these chemicals came from the electronics.
Well, you think of fuel too, just normal gasoline, but now you think of jet fuels and things around air bases, things that have to do with weapons too, we know. So all these things are artificially made, and they're destructive not only in their use, but also...
But for many generations to come, or maybe no more generations to come. That's rather a grim picture of life. It's also prevalent, these chemicals are prevalent in fire foam, firefighting foam.
Right.
And then once that gets sprayed on a fire, it kind of just drifts off. It doesn't really break down. And it gets in the water, and... That's the problem, is that those chemicals don't break down.
And we have a hard time filtering them out of our bodies also.
And they kind of get cumulatively stored in there and become toxic.
Yeah, just the other week, hundreds of residents who live near Luke Air Force Base in Arizona were advised not to drink the water when tests detected high levels of toxic chemicals. Scientists have found these substances in the blood of nearly all people they tested in the area.
In the U.S.?
In the U.S.
All people, blood,
they
found these substances in the blood. Nearly all people tested in the U.S. That is a staggering statement.
Yeah, it also says no country or region on Earth is untouched by these PFAS's contamination. It's a global problem, found in every corner of the globe, virtually present in the body of every human. It's found in the fish in the sea and birds in the sky. And it's killing us, literally harming us and attacking the very source of our life, our reproductive capacities. The rapid death and decline of sperm must be addressed, and it must be addressed now, says Aaron Brockovich. So these are chemicals that are found in just about everything that's plastic. We use plastic bags, we have plastic toys, we carry our food in plastics. So
and the oceans are filled with plastics.
Yeah, and there's the other problem. It's just not the chemicals, but the actual toys and the plastic. Everything ends up in the oceans, it seems like.
Well, but the chemicals are leaching out into the water, and that goes around the globe. We are a water planet, and it just goes around the globe, the ocean.
Yeah. So I remember back in the 60s there was a big push at that time to do away with plastics, and I remember people started using shopping bags again made of paper or cloth things, and that sort of went away for a while, and now we see that coming back again too.
But then with COVID, you couldn't bring your bags into the stores.
Right, so that again, it went backwards again. So plastics are a big problem. They're so convenient, it's hard not to use them.
Well, but also then they started making recycled plastics.
Yeah.
Because they were taking all these plastics that didn't degenerate and, remaking them into new vessels. And then they discovered that the polycarbons were leaching out of the bottles.
Yeah. So when we get back, I want to talk about how this transfers over to our food and what we eat and things like that. So stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based, vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
So we left off with a kind of a grim prognosis for humanity, but so then that got me wondering, well, what can we do to counteract the effects of some of these things in our bodies, and is there anything we can do? Where do you look for answers?
Well, I think doing away with the plastics the use is a big thing for sure.
Right.
But, what I was thinking about is how does it affect me with food? Mm-hmm. And that's the natural thing to go to then is the organics. And this next article is Organic Foods Worth the Price. And the word organic refers to the way that farmers grow and process agricultural products such as fruits, vegetables, grains, dairy products, and meat. Organic farming practices are designed to meet the following goals. Yeah. Number one, enhance soil and water quality.
Reduce pollution.
Provide safe, healthy livestock habitats.
Enable natural livestock behavior.
And promotes a self-sustaining cycle of resources on a farm.
And we've talked about that, about rotating crops, rotating animals in the fields.
So materials or practices not permitted in organic farming include synthetic fertilizers to add nutrition to the soil.
Sewage sludge as fertilizer.
Right. Most synthetic pesticides for pest control are not used.
Yeah, irradiation to preserve food or eliminate disease or pests is not permitted.
And genetic engineering used to improve disease or pest resistance to improve the crop yields are not permitted.
Yes, that's the GMO,
right.
Genetically modified organism. Antibiotics or growth hormones for the livestock is not used in any kind of organic farming.
However, organic crop farming materials or practices may include the following: plant waste left on the fields, that's called green manure. That's livestock manure or compost to improve soil quality. That's a natural
that might also
possession.
be the remnants of stalks from the corn or things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, plant rotation to preserve soil quality and to interrupt the cycles of pests or disease.
Yeah, and cover crops that prevent erosion. So, in other words, planting something beside something, that's a benefit.
Well, and when the field is fallow and not being used, they use a cover to keep
alfalfa or something.
Yeah, they keep the soil from eroding and or can be then plowed into the soil to improve the quality.
And mulch to control weeds. That's natural predatory insects or insect traps to control pests is commonly used.
And then certain natural pesticides, a few synthetic pesticides are approved for organic farming, but they're used rarely and only as a last resort in coordination with the USDA organic certifying agent.
Right. And then organic farming.
Great confidence.
Yeah. Organic farming practices for livestock include healthy living conditions and access to the outdoors,
Yep.
pasture feeding for at least 30% of the livestock nutritional needs during grazing season, organic foods for the animals, and vaccinations. They may include that.
Yeah, so then the question is, how do you know if something is organic and is along the lines that we've described?
Well, we have a label for that.
Of course we do.
Any product labeled as organic on the product description or packaging must be USDA certified. It is certified, and the producer must also have an official USDA organic seal. May have, yes. Now, there's a few certifications here. The USDA also has guidelines on how organic foods are designed on the product labels. So, in other words, if it mentions that it's 100% organic, the description used for fruits and vegetables, eggs and meat, or even a single ingredient foods. And it can be used on multiple foods, too. Multi-ingredients foods.
If all the ingredients are
100% organic.
Yeah. Excluding salt and water.
Yeah. Now, if it just says organic, if it's a multi-ingredient food is labeled organic, at least 95% of the ingredients are certified.
And then the non-organic items have to be from a USDA, a list of approved additional ingredients.
Yeah, and this is why I think it's confusing, because then the next category is made with organic. So you have a few things in there that might be organic and some other things may not be. And then it has another labeling that says organic ingredients. So if less than 70%, when you read a label and it says organic, then the natural tendency is to say, oh, okay, I'm all right.
Yeah.
But now you have to dissect it. Is it this label, this label,
well,
this
you got to
label,
read the rest
label?
of the ingredients.
Yeah.
It's like
and it's always in the small print, right? First,
again. Yeah, here where it says made with organic, made with organic oats, let's say, in a breakfast cereal. But then you read the ingredients, and there's like 12 different ingredients that have at least 15 syllables apiece and are all chemical names.
Right.
And vitamins, synthetic vitamins they're putting back in.
Right, yeah.
And, you really, really have to look at what you're eating.
Then the other designation is it organic and natural? Does it mean the same thing? And it doesn't. Natural and organic are not interchangeable terms.
Yeah, natural just means it has no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives.
It doesn't refer to the methods or materials used to produce the food ingredients. Another common food label is also not to be confused with organic labels. For example, the guidelines for certified organic beef include a number of the requirements: access to pasture land during a minimum of 120-day growing season, and no growth hormones. But the labels free range or hormone free, while they might be truthful, do not indicate that a farmer is using these guidelines for organic certification.
Yeah, not following everything.
Yeah.
So. Well, and you can't keep cattle penned in a stockyard without giving them these antibiotics, because they're too close together and things. And that's confined. Why they use those.
And it's also used in conjunction with the feed that they would give them, corn or soy, instead of the other thing, too.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is organic food, is it safe or more nutritious? Well, the nutrition really isn't changed at all. It's whether it has chemicals on it or not.
Yeah, and I think that's an important distinction to make, because it's not a matter of what's in it, it's a matter of what else is in it, aside from the nutrients.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And so we got the organic fatty acids, and we have toxic metals. It says cadmium is a naturally found chemical, and that's found in soils and absorbed by the plants. But organic grains have lower cadmium levels, but fruits and vegetables are about the same. And the lower cadmium levels in the organic grains might simply be related to the fact that you can't use fertilizer. You don't use the synthetic fertilizers in the organic gardening.
Yeah, so the toxic materials can definitely be not in there if it's organic, and also the pesticides residue is not in there. Bacteria, it says here, meats produced conventionally may have a higher occurrence of bacteria resistance to antibiotic treatments.
But basically, the overall risk of bacterial contamination for organic is the same as for conventional.
Right.
So, you know, but so really, what we're looking for is we're looking for things that don't have hormones, don't have pesticides, don't have antibiotics, and if possible, have less of the of the metals.
Yeah, and it says here to read the instructions or the labels carefully. Buy fruits and vegetables that are in season. That helps you. Yeah, local. And wash and scrub your fruits and vegetables under running water, and those are all good ideas.
Well, it says that it removes dirt, bacteria, and traces of chemical, but a lot of the pesticides can't be removed that way.
That's right. Yeah. So stick around, folks. We got a lot more.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, and we're now talking about the difference between grass-fed and grain-fed beef. This is the natural next step. And we have been doing organic for a lot of years, but until we went paleo, we really didn't even look at the difference between what the cows are eating or the other things. And there's a distinction, you know, when we eat meat, we eat the animals that are grazers, the ruminants. Mm-hmm. We don't go after tigers and lions and bears, although if there's a bear there, bear meat's pretty good, and people have eaten just about everything, you know, when the time comes. But normally when we're talking about this, we're talking about the grazing animals that, and these days we have agriculture, so we manage them. Agribusiness, yeah. And I remember the old story of the Indian chief who, you know, they always prize the buffalo, and they prize especially that big hump, which is the fat of the buffalo. Mm-hmm. And there's stories that if they were under stress and they killed a buffalo, they would take the hump away and leave the rest. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they'll feed the meat and stuff to the dogs, and they're eating the organs and the blood and the fat. And the fat is what they wanted because they knew that's where the fuel was, because there weren't a lot of carbohydrates out there for fuel, and they don't last that long. Mm-hmm. But there is a real difference between grain-fed beef and grass-fed beef, as we'll talk about.
Yeah, and
there's lots of studies been done on this, folks. So,
yeah, and one thing when you're looking at labels, you want to not only have grass-fed, but grass-finished.
Yeah, and I would say that this started around the turn of the century when we started growing these crops more for the animals than they were for us. The grains and stuff for us were kind of a later thing, mostly just used for emergencies and things like that to extend the food when the animals are gone.
Corn and soy.
So we always had the animals, and during our evolutionary period over the last 10,000 years, you could say that 99% of that time, all the animals were eating their natural food out in the prairies and things like that. Mm-hmm. And we were eating from those kind of animals. Mm-hmm. So when it changed, we started confining animals much easier. Yeah, in stockyards, in barns and things like that. And when that happens, the farmer, what he used to do, he used to have hay around. Mm-hmm. He used to accumulate that in the fall and then store it in the barn. So it's the next best thing to the
natural grass.
Natural grass. It's not green anymore. So a lot of the nutrients are missing, but there's still enough of them in there. Now, the difference is when we started feeding them soy and corn, and the main reason for that, it's easier for them to manage. They're inside now in the wintertime, and we're feeding them that. And later on, what happened in these big factory farms, the cows weren't allowed to go outside at all. We just confine them, we milk them, we breed them, and we slaughter them, and that's pretty much it. And we keep them confined, and then we feed them what is the cheapest for us to feed them. Uh-huh. But then we found out that things happened when the cows start eating grains instead of their natural grass. Then they have problems with digestion. They have sores that come up. They have all kinds of different problems. And then we have to correct those problems through drugs, which is your antibiotics and things like that. In fact, some of the movies, if you watch them about the grain yards and things, about every 10th cow will have a hole in their stomach where the veterinarian can go in there and reach and sample the food and make sure that the antibiotics are in the right balance and things like that. So all kinds of horrible things we do because of the way we're raising these animals. But the real point of this is what it does to us. Yeah. That's what really we're concerned about, I think.
Yeah, because what the cows eat is then passed through to us when we eat the meat from the cow.
Right. So they're processing the food for us. Remember that a lot of foods like grasses and things like that and their seeds are much harder to digest for us.
For us, yeah.
In fact, the nutrition value is so low that it's often said that we need more nutrition in there, and we take it from our bones and from our skin to do the digestive, and this is why people have so many problems when they eat cereals a lot and things like that.
So we're talking about what's the difference between grass-fed beef and grain-fed beef, and it says, you're talking about fatty acids, monounsaturated fat. Grass-fed beef contains less monounsaturated fat than grain-fed. Omega-6 polyunsaturated fats, they're similar. Mm-hmm. Omega-3s, this is where it makes a very big difference, and grass-fed is up to 5 times as much omega-3 as grain-fed.
Just like the fish that eat the kale or the bottom feeders. So the thing is the percentage changes. So in other words, a cow that is fed its natural food will have a 1-to-1 ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 and even maybe omega-9. When you start feeding them grains, it goes up to 15-to-1, much more omega-6 than the omega-3.
And the 6 is not the good.
No, that's the inflammatory portion. And we need that too. We need a certain amount of inflammation.
But it has to be balanced.
But it has to be balanced. And the reason we need it is because that spurs on our immune system.
Right.
We have a little irritation. Your immune system is awake, saying we're ready for action. But so we always prize these cold water fish for the omega-3s, but come to find out that our the ruminants and even pigs and things like that who are fed their natural food will have a real good source of omega-3, and this is where we get most of ours. Even chickens and turkeys and things like that. Well, as long as you stay away from the white meat of the chicken, and
it's natural, it's free range, and it's not. It isn't antibiotics and hormones. There's also a conjugated linoleic acid that grass-fed beef has about twice as much as grain-fed beef.
Yeah, and this is the type of ingredients in butter, so it's real important fat for us. And remember that fat was so vilified, and they always still tell you to take your omega-3s, and these types of fats are so important. So if you're on a low-fat diet, you're not really talking about the fats at all. You're just trying to eliminate them, even the good ones. So there's the danger in your low-fat diet. And we now know that a low-fat diet is not that great.
Well, the other problem is that your human brain needs some level of fat intake in order to function perfectly. And so that's when you go on a low-fat diet, you could also be impairing your ability to rebuild your brain.
So it's a good idea to get your meat from people that you know are treating their cattle right. I noticed in the chat room that John is talking to somebody about purchasing his beef from a nearby rancher. And these are the kind of things that you have to do. You can go to good markets like the Whole Foods markets, have really good beef. And you have to find this out. And what we found out is these things do cost more money. But when you start eating the way we do, we eat less, and it kind of evens out. Maybe it's a little bit higher, but for our health, we always figure.
Well, we also find that we have smaller portions because the meat is denser and more rich and more satisfying and filling. Yeah. So we are eating, less. So even if you buy a package of pork chops, we're only just buying 2. Yeah. And that's more than enough. Yeah. It's sometimes we can't finish the chop if it's a little thicker than normal or whatever, and so it ends up evening out.
Yeah, that's right. Stick around, folks. We got a lot more. We'll be right back.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based, vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back. This next segment is about surprising differences of whole food vitamins versus synthetic vitamins. And when we started on this whole trip, we were taking a few different multivitamins and stuff, but I always kind of wanted to take an all-in-one shot type of thing. And then when Paige was here, we developed the Primal Edge just because it's so expensive to get really good vitamins, and we managed to get a nice chemical company to work with us.
A lab.
And, yeah, a lab.
Not a chemical company.
Well, it is a chemical company.
Yeah, but it's a lab in there.
Yeah, and we wanted to make sure that all the vitamins that we use in here are from really, really good sources and all from whole food sources, and it's really important. So that's what this next article is about. 9 surprising differences of whole food vitamins versus synthetic vitamins. And natural supplements will fill in the gaps where your diet is lacking, and that's why we were always concerned.
Well, they say, first thing, try and get the stuff from your food.
Right.
But when you need a supplement...
Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to ensure you're getting everything that you need, you need to have a supplement because the soil isn't there.
Right.
The animals are eating from that soil, and the plants are grown in that soil. So, yeah, we're trying to do the best we can, but to ensure that maybe you want a little bit longer, have that high quality of life, we opted to do the Primal Edge, and we even take a couple of more different types of supplements just to be sure that we're on the right track.
Yeah.
And we're always kind of tweaking that thing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there's a big difference between synthetic and natural whole food vitamins.
Yes.
Synthetic vitamins are made from chemicals that are intended to mimic the natural way your body absorbs nutrients from the food.
Yeah, and synthetic vitamins are difficult for the body to absorb and can even cause some health issues.
Whole food vitamins condense and concentrate the fruits and vegetables to make natural vitamins for your body.
And whole food vitamins are bioavailable and easily recognized for your body.
Yeah,
that's the
by
main
your body,
yeah.
too, yeah.
Yeah. So food is really what keeps our body filled with these natural vitamins and minerals
and nutrients in general, yeah.
We used to be able to get all that from our environment, but because it's so complicated, remember that first article we talked about was all these plastic things
the pollutants in the food and in the water.
And we're using the water and we're using the ground to grow our vegetables and feed our livestock. So naturally, they're getting some of these too. And that's why it's important now to go and get a multivitamin, and we recommend highly to get the Primal Edge. It's $89. It comes every month, and you can be assured that you're getting the proper nutrition. And that's how important it is for us.
The little tweaks of vitamins and little tweaks of nutrients and micronutrients and minerals.
Yeah, and it's easy to take. It's liquid. It makes a lot of sense.
Tastes good.
So the other thing that we're concerned about, of course, is the GMOs, genetically modified organisms of any plant or animal or any organism, even just parts of an organism. You don't want that in there because we really don't know what is going to...
Yeah, I always worry if something is genetically modified and you put it in your body and your body absorbs it, does any of that genetic modification then ultimately become part of what your body is doing?
Right.
I don't think anybody has looked at that, and I've been thinking about that for a number of years.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a fact that our topsoil is the stuff that we really have to worry about, and though our growing methods haven't been that great in this last 100 years or so. And it takes about 100 years to grow an inch of topsoil, they say. So in the last 100 years, we've done a lot of damage, and I doubt if there's an inch of topsoil being grown unless it's some farmer someplace, maybe on Vancouver Island, or where we watch these people, build these beds and things like that. These people are, composting and preparing the soil. And Jake there on Living... on Off the Grid with Jake and Nicole, he is an expert gardener, I would say, where he fills up. He's got these beautiful raised beds, and he puts all kinds of wood and everything in there. And on top of that, he puts a lot of wood chips, and then mulch and some of the organic stuff that they've been using. And then at the end, they put the topsoil on it. But it's about maybe about 3 feet high.
And plus they age their beds for about a year, the compost and all, and it grows the necessary bacteria in it that helps the food. And
then in the fall, when you see their stuff, I mean, they're just growing massive amounts quality-wise and quantity-wise. So they're doing it very successfully. So there's people that know how to do this, and certainly our ancient ancestors knew this too.
But doing it on a scale to feed the world is a kind of a daunting proposition. And however, if everybody did it, then it would work.
Exactly, and that's what we used to do. It's not that long ago that everybody was growing some kind of food somewhere along the line.
Sure.
Probably 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You could,
if you had any kind of land.
Even in the cities, you have people that are growing herbs
gardens.
and things like that too. Mm-hmm. So, and these are the kind of things I think that we want. We want people participating. We want local participation. We want we want to know our local farmer and our local butcher, and it's hard to even find a butcher now. We used to have one down the road, but that was about a decade ago where he went out of business. So they're still popping up now and then, and certainly in our neighborhood in St. Pete, there's a lot of organic and really good restaurants that are feeding you the way we're talking about, with the organic fruits and vegetables, but the real good sustainable meats and nice variety of meats. You're finding a lot more restaurants around the nation. When we travel, we can go to a nice place and they'll have the variety that we want and stuff that we're used to. So it is nice.
Yeah, these things have a cycle. So we're looking at what some of the downsides of synthetic vitamins and minerals. The first one is synthetic minerals cannot be excreted right away, and so sometimes they end up getting stored in the liver and then become toxic to the body. Mm-hmm. And then we have. So then it's also possible because the high concentration of the chemical vitamins mimic the natural vitamins, you can get a higher dose of those vitamins, and then occasionally that builds up in your body again, and you can overdose on some of these things, which is detrimental.
First of all, it's not recognized that good, and the reason that companies are using these, first of all, they're easy to make.
Yeah.
And they're real stable.
Yeah, they don't expire on the shelf.
No, exactly, because they've expired already pretty much. So,
they were never alive.
Exactly. So even though under a microscope these things look similar and they have a similar composition, they're not alive, I would say. That's the reference I see.
Examples they give just quickly: vitamin A which you can get from carrots and sweet potatoes and spinach and broccoli and cantaloupe and apricots and mangoes. And synthetic A is made from combining fish or palm oil with some kind of synthetic or chemical, and it's the B1 thiamine is water soluble, and it helps. It's broken down by digestion, but synthetic is coal tar and ammonia, acetone.
Doesn't sound good, does it?
No.
Okay, stick
but
around.
We sound good.
Yes, we do.
And you guys, best to you. Have
No,
a great
we'll be right
week.
back.
And we'll be right back.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
So, in this article here, the thing to realize is these 3 things. The synthetic minerals can't be excreted right away. Synthetic vitamins don't contain the trace minerals. And that's important because these trace minerals are the signaling that we find in fulvic and humic acid. And the third thing is synthetic vitamins eventually become toxic because they build up and your body can't get rid of them. Whereas natural vitamins, if you have too much of it, you just pee it out. Excrete it. Yeah.
Well, and I'm looking at the ingredients in these synthetic vitamins, and they include cyanide, hydrochloric acid, acetone, coal tar, and there was the other one. There was another one that I thought, I don't want to put that in my body. The point is that these are formaldehyde. That was the other one. So it's like, what the heck are we putting into our foods? And the same USDA and the Food and Drug Administration that are giving us the standards for all the food are approving these vitamins that are full of all these toxic and anti-living kind of chemicals. And it just doesn't, seems like it's really, really important to try and get your vitamins and your minerals and from the food and from things like the Primal Lifestyle, where you can trust the source. And like the vitamin K, which is just it's a very small trace thing, but it's very important to your overall, and it's available in leafy green, dark leafy greens.
Well, one of the reasons we've done away with most of the fruits and vegetables because of the toxicity levels of, even organic is still in there. And if you start eating the meat first, and you're very happy, you don't need the other stuff. Maybe a piece of chocolate afterwards would be nice, but other than that.
Well, and the other thing is that you want to eat the vegetables and the fruit after you eat the meat. There's protein first.
Protein and fat, yes.
Yeah, because your body then digests that, and then the other things are a little harder to digest, and if you do it in reverse, you end up with it sitting in your stomach.
Exactly right. Yep. Thanks for sticking around, folks. We'll see you next time.
Have a great week.